I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we have a very special guest. His name is Justin Guerra. He is a man who could be described as a serial entrepreneur. He had a very humble beginning, but now he is invested in multiple seven-figure ventures. We're delighted to have him here on Spotlight today to talk about a book he has just released. It is called Jumpstart Ultimate Scaling. Justin, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you so much for having me, Logan. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Let's first start talking about your book. It's
Yeah.
about starting your own business. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so the reason that we started started writing the book Jumpstart Ultimate Scaling, or the reason that I found a passion in writing it is because I know a lot of entrepreneurs in the space, right? And a lot of people are stuck in different phases. It just comes with life, right? Somebody's stuck at maybe making $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month. And I just kind of wanted to give a guide for whoever wants to grow as an individual inside of their companies, right? So that my guide was you could take this book, implement it into your business, and regardless of what stage you're in, let's say you're making $100,000 a year or $1 million a year, you're going to get a benefit out of it, and you're going to be able to see some growth inside your company. So that's kind of the whole main premises for Jumpstart Ultimate Scaling.
And that's the secret. If you're making $1,000 a month now, there's no reason why you can't be making five, six, seven, eight, $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Or if you're making $10,000 a month, there's no reason you can't be making $100,000 a month. It's a matter of adjusting your brain and how you think and scaling your business, like you say.
Yeah, I think it's all about information, right? So I have this quote that I kind of token because it's my reality, right? I always say I scaled myself as a human before I ever scaled the company, right? So I'm always so focused in getting the right information to put that into play. Because if I'm a reflection of my company, I need to make sure that I grow as fast as an individual as possible. So that book is for some people the next phase for them to grow as an individual to scale their company.
Wonderful. Give us one bit of advice that's in that book that could be a takeaway from this interview. If you're going to give somebody advice right now on how to make their business grow.
Perfect. So let's do something applicable, right? Because the first beginning of the book is just how to change your brain to actually be able to scale a company or scale anything in your life, right? Like the book could be applied to literally most things that involve business, right? And it's these three principles that changed my life forever, right? So I believe in scaling a company, you need to have a large vision. So for me, it was vision, purpose, and desire, right? So, how can I create my vision as large as possible? What's the reason that I want to do this, right? So, what is the reason that drives me to go ahead and create this vision for myself, right? And then the third thing that, or the fourth thing that, puts all these three pieces together so you could actually start running and creating a business is taking action. If you're able to put your vision, your desire, and add some action behind it, you're able to work, outwork 99% of the competition. It's just a literal fact. They say that, for example, with podcasting, right? Most people don't shoot past their, actually 99% of people don't shoot past their third podcast. And then 70% of people don't shoot past the 20th podcast.
Right.
Right. So if you just get past your 20th podcast, for example, you're in the 1% of podcasters in the world. Right. And a lot of people don't think like that because they think, it's so hard to get started, whatever the case may be. So for me, the advice that I would give is having those three principles: vision, purpose, desire, and action. If you have all four of those things aligned, you're ahead of 99.9% of people.
And a lot of people don't realize this, but little goals are as tough to achieve as big goals. So you
Yeah.
might as well just think big.
Exactly. I think that 100%. So I'll give you a quick story, right? When I was 18 years old, I used to live on my mom's house, right? We lived in like this little city called Palmdale, and I wrote on a whiteboard inside my mom's house. I said, I'm gonna make $1 million by the time I turn 21, right? And she walks in the room as I'm writing it, and she goes, not from a place of looking down upon me, but from a place of not understanding because she doesn't have the information, right? And she goes, Justin, like, how are you going to hit $1 million? I'm 40 something years old. I've never even hit $1 million. And for me, it was like, no, this is possible, right? That was my think big at the time, right? By the time I turned 21, I surpassed that goal, right? By miles. And I said, what if I just thought $10 million instead of $1 million? Where would I be today? So think bigger. Like honestly, that's another one of my quotes that I love saying, right? So think bigger, do more.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So many people are trying to like scrape by, stretch a paycheck,
Yeah,
maybe get a side hustle here, but it's not about that. It's about changing it all,
yeah,
thinking bigger, thinking
yeah.
outside of the box. How can I become not just successful within the parameters of my company, but how can I become an unmitigated success?
Yeah. And and not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
And success can be defined however you like it to be defined. So my goal is like, I don't want to only tell people, oh, entrepreneurship is the way because entrepreneurship is hard, right? But everybody wants to deal with a different hard. If you want to be the best sports player in your possible field, or if you want to be the best CMO in your possible field, go ahead and achieve that. And those same principles inside that book will make sure that you have the ability and the mindset to achieve all those things. And the cool thing about it is that we do break down like complex topics. Like we talk about how to do a SWOT analysis on your business, how to, curate a marketing campaign, how to scale and evolve a team. And those same principles could be taken towards anything. If you want to market, let's say your company, your internal corporation to get a raise at your job. If you want to do a SWOT analysis on the current products that you're launching inside your company or somebody else's company that you want to go ahead and grow upon, those are things that you can apply to grow as an individual.
Wonderful, wonderful. It is great advice. It takes the energy that you describe to make it in this world, no matter how you make it. And also, good advice is to produce a product or produce a service, but keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Don't just put out the one or two or three news podcasts and say to yourself, okay, it hasn't caught on, forget about it.
Yeah.
On to the next, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. If you build it, they will come.
Yep. It took me 3 years to become an overnight success.
Exactly, exactly. And 3 years in my book is an overnight success, but for a lot of people out there, they want it even quicker than that. You've got other exciting ventures going on right now as well. One of them involves real estate. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I started off my company's in real estate. I'm a real estate head at core. My mom was a real estate agent, so I grew up in real estate. Right now we're just, acquiring properties across the country. We have a wholesale company as well as, a acquisitions company where we just acquire deals. But not only that, right? So I actually am starting to take all the concepts that I've learned over the last few years and throwing them out there for, if you go to my YouTube right now, I think we have videos on like I'm literally teaching you how to acquire properties for free. Like you could literally go click a video and I literally run you through the step by step on how to do this without having any money to your name because that's how I did it. I started my first real estate company with $0 essentially, calling off of white pages, right? And I ended up making a $26,000 deal in 2 weeks at 18 years old.
Wow.
So there's a way to do it without having to have the large capital lump sum. But for me, I've always had a passion inside of real estate, and my roots are always embedded in there.
And I feel there's no better ROI or return on investment than
Yeah,
real estate. We've seen houses over the last year double in value.
yeah,
And getting that first house, people have to realize that's your toughest hurdle. Once you have that first house or that first piece of property, now you've got the golden goose that you
yeah.
have equity in there. You can take it out, buy the next house, equity, take the next, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Right. So like a lot of people don't know this, but like what you're mentioning is the refinance game, right? So for, most investors, they're thinking, damn, I could just go ahead and get into a property, I'll hold it for the next 20 years and that's it, right?
Right.
Like that's the average American dream, right? Like they've made buying houses so easy that a janitor out of middle school could buy a house like this. It's just part of the American dream. But what you're not thinking is, or what most people aren't thinking is like, what if I got, this house under market value and it's completely possible, take that equity margin, refinance in a year instead of waiting 30 years to get paid out your equity or 20 years to get paid out your equity or for the next market boost. And then take that money, invest it to the next property and keep scaling and scaling and scaling and scaling. And then the best thing about that is that if you have an operating business behind it to create you that cash flow, you have a money making machine. Take the money from your business, dump it into real estate, play the refinance game, and just keep scaling your life. If we start looking at like, honestly, like for me, business is a sport.
Mm,
So I don't look at it like making money. I look at it like how can I get like the best moves on a chessboard, right?
yeah.
And a lot of people don't know these moves because they're kind of hidden behind this curtain, right? Like, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody, right? This is only for the wealthy. But at this point, we're in 2023, Logan. Like you could
Right.
literally go on YouTube and find this stuff, and you'll be ahead of 90% of people in a 13-minute video. So it's just about access of information, I guess, at this point.
Where can people find your YouTube channel?
It's just secure the bag, JUS dot secure the bag
Okay.
on YouTube. And that's pretty much me on all platforms. And then you could also Google me at Justin Guerra, and you'll be able to pretty much find all my stuff there.
Okay, wonderful. Any other projects we need to know about that you're working on? I know you're a man who wears many hats.
Yeah, so I'm currently running 4 companies right now. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm blessed with an amazing team. So I'm able to do a lot of the stuff that, we're working on. Right now, my biggest project is a company that I'm starting called Virtual Venture Society. So what we're basically doing is we're bringing all the virtual ventures that you could possibly imagine, and virtual ventures that either I know like very, very good experts in, or I've done myself, and making it accessible to people, right? So I don't believe everybody has to be an entrepreneur, but I do believe everybody has to make money, right? So if we could bring those skill sets to people and allow them to do their best in whatever they're doing, then they have the best opportunity to, have the most fruitful life that they can financially. And that's what the goal is, right? We're doing real estate, e-commerce, whatever you could possibly imagine, right? It's gonna be on there. We even have sections for ladies, sections for men. Like we're definitely providing as much value to everyone as much as we can.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great advice throughout. The name of the book, by the way, is Jumpstart Ultimate Scaling. See, I remembered it's a great name. So, but thanks for the reminder anyway. For the folks at home, if you want to get in touch with Justin and follow his work, he's all over social media and on the web. You can Google him, Justin Guerra, or look for him at just.thebag, correct? Secure the bag.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it right there.
Got that one right. Okay, cool. That's 2 in a row. I'm doing great. Justin, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you so much, Logan. I appreciate it.
Pleasure. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.